warrior of light. There's a voice that arrives before the alarm, before the light, before any good thing has had a chance to reach you. It carries a list of everything that could go wrong today. It reminds you of what fell apart yesterday. It rehearses conversations that have not happened yet and assigns them the worst possible outcomes. And you know this voice so well, you have lived with it for so long, that you may have stopped noticing something crucial about it. It is not your voice. It never was. It speaks in your language. It uses your memories. It references your specific circumstances with a precision that makes it sound like your own reasonable thinking. But it is not. What is yours, what I actually placed inside you when I formed you with my own hands, is something entirely different. And that is why I need you to hear this next sentence not as a distant echo, not as a generalized truth written for the crowd, but as a word shaped for the specific contours of your life, spoken directly into the place where you are standing right now. I am closer to you than your own breath. I am more present in this moment than any physical sensation your body can register. I am aware of every layer of what you are carrying, every corridor of your interior life where the weight has been sitting and accumulating. And the first thing I want to say to you, before anything else, before we explore anything further, is this. I did not give you a spirit of fear. Let that sentence travel past the surface and arrive somewhere real. Do not process it quickly and file it away in the category of things you already believe. Let it reach the place inside you that has been operating from fear for a long time. The place that wakes up already braced. The place that runs quiet calculations about what could go wrong before you have even oriented yourself to the day ahead. The place that holds itself back from full investment in good things, because some part of you is always half preparing for when the good things end. The place that looks at what lies ahead and feels the familiar tightening that says, you are not enough for this, that this is too uncertain, that something is probably going to go wrong. That place, that exact place, that is where this word is directed. And what I am saying to that place, clearly, specifically, without qualification, is that what has been living there is not what I put there. Fear was not part of my design for you. Let me talk about what happens over time as this practice of trust takes root. Courage is not a fixed amount you have or you do not have. It is something that is built through use. Every time you step in trust, every time you choose to move in the direction of what I'm calling you toward, rather than in the direction of what fear is warning you away from, you accumulate evidence. Personal, specific, undeniable evidence of my faithfulness in your actual life. You remember the time you stepped and the ground held. You remember the provision that arrived when you had stopped being able to see how it would. You remember the door that opened when you were in front of it in faith. You remember the conversation you were afraid to have that produced something beautiful. You remember the thing you attempted that fear said would fail, and that succeeded in a way you had not quite expected. Each of those memories is a deposit in an account that grows over time. And the account, the personal, lived testimony of my faithfulness in your specific life, becomes one of the most powerful weapons against fear that you can carry. Because fear can debate theology, but it cannot argue convincingly with your own lived experience. It cannot unsee what you have already seen. It cannot unclaim what you have already witnessed. Your testimony is armor, and it is built one step at a time. The people who come through long seasons of hardship and emerge with an unshakable quality of peace and trust are not people who were born with more faith than you. They are people who accumulated more steps, more instances of stepping in trust and finding that I was there. More evidence, gathered over more situations and more years, that the pattern of my faithfulness holds. They were afraid, many of them, in the early steps. They were uncertain. They did not have guaranteed outcomes. They had exactly what you have: the invitation to trust me and move forward, and the choice of whether to do so. They chose. They stepped. They found me faithful. They stepped again. They found me faithful again. And over time, the accumulated weight of all that found faithfulness became the foundation of a trust that no circumstance could easily shake. That is available to you, not in one dramatic experience, in the accumulation of many ordinary ones. I want to speak about what it means practically to go forward from this moment, not in a general sense, but in the specific, tangible, today applicable sense. There is probably a specific thing in your life right now that fear has been keeping you from. A step you have been putting off, a conversation you have been avoiding, a beginning you have been deferring, a risk you have been refusing to take because fear has been describing the outcome as too uncertain or too likely to fail. You know what it is. You have known for some time, and I am asking you to take it. Not when you feel fully ready, not when all the circumstances are more favorable, not when the fear has gone quiet. Now, in the uncertainty of the present, in the imperfection of your current preparation, in the trembling of taking a step that you cannot guarantee, I am asking you to take it because I am in it with you, because the ground you are stepping onto has been prepared for your arrival, because the provision for the need that will arise from the step is already in motion toward you, because on the other side of the step is something I have been waiting to show you about who I am and how faithful I am in your specific life. You will not regret it. That is not a promise I make about every decision, but about the decision to step in trust toward the thing I have been calling you toward, about the choice to move forward in courage through the fear that has been holding you back. That decision, made honestly and sincerely from a posture of trust, is one you will not regret, because on the other side of it is not only the outcome you are stepping toward. On the other side of it is the person you become in the taking of the step. The version of you who has walked through something that felt impossible and discovered that I was faithful. The version of you who carries in their body the embodied knowledge, not just the intellectual belief, but the lived, experienced, physical knowledge, that stepping in trust leads to finding me there. That version of you is the one who can help others step. That version of you is the one who can speak with authority about my faithfulness, because they have it in their own story. That version of you is the one who is free. The freedom I am speaking about is not the absence of all difficulty. It is not the removal of all uncertainty. It is the freedom of moving through difficulty and uncertainty without being defined and limited by the fear of them. The freedom of being fully present in your life, rather than constantly bracing against what might be coming. The freedom of investing yourself fully in the things and people that matter to you, because your security is not in how well those investments pay off, but in the one who holds you regardless of how they pay off. The freedom of waking up to a new day with something closer to anticipation than to dread, not because you know what the day will bring, but because you know who brings the day with you. That is the quality of life I have been describing throughout this entire word. And it is not a fantasy. It is the practical outcome of a sustained, practiced, evidence-accumulating relationship of trust with the God who made you and loves you and has gone before you and will never leave you, and is faithful beyond the capacity of fear to undermine or overestimate. The light that I am has been speaking into your darkness throughout this entire time, not the darkness of a hostile universe. The specific darkness that fear introduced into the interior spaces of the person I made with love and intention and purpose. That darkness has been the target of every word I have spoken here. And light does not fail. It does not partially displace what it enters. It fills every space it enters completely. Every corner where fear has been making its home is now a corner where the truth of who I am and what I have for you is present. And as you carry this word forward, as you return to it in the moments when fear gets loud, as you practice the small turns and the one true things spoken into the silence where fear was speaking, as you take the steps and accumulate the evidence, the light will establish itself more and more fully, until the room of your interior life is so full of light that there is simply no corner left for fear to operate from without immediately being seen for what it is. Walk forward, warrior of light. Walk in the power that was given. Walk in the love that does not change. Walk in the sound mind that the light is restoring. Walk in the faithfulness of the one who went before you and is already in every place you are going and has prepared every provision you will need along the way. Walk forward trembling if that is what you have. Walk forward uncertain if certainty has not arrived. Walk forward with only the single sentence of trust if that is all you can manage. You are with me and I trust you. That is enough. That has always been enough. And on the other side of the walk, the testimony is waiting. The evidence is waiting. The fuller version of yourself is waiting. And I am waiting in every place you have not yet arrived, already there and already for you. There is one more dimension of this word that I want to give you before I close, because it is the dimension that ties everything else together and makes the practical difference in whether what has been said here lives or fades. It is the dimension of remembrance. Remembering what is true when fear is loudest. Remembering who I am when the circumstances are telling a different story. Remembering what you know when the feelings are pulling you toward what you fear. Memory is one of the most powerful tools available to a person who is learning to walk in trust rather than in fear. Not the selective memory that fear uses, the one that catalogs every disappointment and difficulty and near miss to make its case for caution, but the intentional, practiced, deliberate memory of what has been true. My faithfulness is not a concept you believe in the abstract. It has been expressed in specific moments in your specific life, and those moments are real, and they happened, and they are evidence. I want you to learn to carry that evidence with you into the moments when fear gets loudest. Think back over the seasons of your life and look for the moments when my faithfulness showed up in a way that you could not explain from coincidence alone. The provision that arrived when you could not see where it would come from. The situation that resolved in a way you had not engineered. The relationship that appeared at exactly the right season. The door that opened when you had stopped being able to imagine how it would. The strength that was available in the moment of need that you had not known was going to be there. Every one of those moments is evidence. Real, personal, specific evidence of who I am and how I operate in the life of someone who trusts me. And every time fear arrives to make its case for why you should not trust me in the current situation, you can bring that evidence to the conversation. You can say, I have seen you be faithful, not in general, in my own story. I have a record of moments when what you promised turned out to be true. Fear cannot argue convincingly with that. It can try. But the accumulated weight of personal testimony, revisited and remembered and carried forward as a living record, is one of the most effective defenses against the encroachment of fear that you possess. Carry the memory of my faithfulness forward with you. Add to it every time you take a step in trust and find me there. Build the record deliberately, the way you would build any valuable resource, intentionally, consistently, with the understanding that what you are building is going to serve you powerfully in the future moments when you most need it. Every step taken in trust that produces evidence of my care is a deposit. And over the years, the accumulated deposits of personal testimony become a weight of evidence that makes it genuinely difficult for fear to claim, with a straight face, that I am untrustworthy and that the path forward is not accompanied. Because you have seen it too many times. Because the record is too long. Because the evidence is too specific and too personal to be attributed to anything other than the faithful presence of the God who said he would be there and was there and will be there still. I want to leave you with the image of light one final time, not a dramatic, overwhelming blast of light. The particular quality of light that belongs to the kind of steady, unwavering brightness that does not come and go with the weather, that is not dependent on the hour or the season, that simply is, constant, full, sufficient for everything it touches. That is the light of my presence in your life. Not available only in your best moments and withdrawn in your worst. Not brighter when you are performing well and dimmer when you are failing. Constant, full, sufficient. Present in the ordinary days and in the extraordinary ones. Present in the difficult seasons and in the seasons of ease. Present when you are aware of it and when you are not. Present whether you feel it or not. That light is with you right now. It is in you right now, because my spirit is in you, and it cannot be extinguished by any fear, any circumstance, any failure, any uncertainty, any amount of time, any accumulation of difficulty. It simply is. And in being, it is more than enough for everything you will face. Walk in the light you carry. That is the invitation. Not to perform courage you do not feel. Not to pretend the fear is not there when it is. but to consistently, practically, daily choose to walk in the direction of the light rather than in the direction of what fear is projecting. To take the next available step in trust rather than the next available step in self-protection. To speak the next true thing into the space where fear has been speaking. To receive the love that is being offered rather than deflecting it with the belief that it cannot really be for you. To move in the power that was given rather than waiting in the paralysis that fear manufactured. That is the life available to you. That is the life I am calling you into. And it begins, not eventually, not once things are better arranged, but now, in the middle of the imperfect present, with the single choice of, I trust you, even here, even now. Take the step. I am with you in every one of them. And when you have taken the step, and when you have found me faithful there, and when the next fear arrives at the next threshold, you will not be the same person who stood at the previous threshold. You will be the person who carries one more piece of evidence, one more memory of the ground holding, one more record of provision arriving, one more story of the door opening when the step was taken in trust. You will be a step further into the territory of lived faith, which is a territory that only opens as you walk in it. You cannot map it from a distance. You cannot understand it theoretically. You can only know it by walking in it and finding, repeatedly, that it is exactly what I said it was. I am faithful. The path is real. The provision is there. The power inside you is equal to the challenge in front of you because it is my power in you. And my power has never been insufficient for any moment it was called upon. Not in any generation. Not in any circumstance. Not in any person's life who genuinely trusted me through the hard thing. And it will not be insufficient for you. There is a peace that I am offering you right now that is different from the peace that comes from having everything figured out. That peace, the peace of all questions answered and all uncertainties resolved and all fears validated as unfounded by the pleasant evidence of circumstances going well. That peace is real, but it is fragile. It depends on the circumstances maintaining themselves, and circumstances do not maintain themselves indefinitely. The peace I am offering is deeper and more durable than that. It is the peace of being genuinely, deeply, unshakably convinced that the one who holds everything is good, that the one who goes before you can be trusted, that the one inside you is greater than anything outside you, that the one who loves you will not abandon you and is not planning to and has never once considered it. That peace does not require perfect circumstances. It coexists with uncertainty. It stands in the middle of the hard season and does not crumble. It is not produced by information about the future. It is produced by the quality of the relationship with the one who holds the future. And that relationship is available to you in its full depth, starting right now, in the middle of whatever is currently making you afraid. Let me tell you the truth about failure in my hands. I am the God who brings life out of death. I am the God who makes roads through wilderness and rivers through desert. I take what fell apart and build something different with the pieces. Something that could not have been built without the falling apart. Nothing that you have genuinely, sincerely attempted in faith is wasted in my hands. Not one attempt that did not produce the result you hoped for. Not one season that ended in disappointment. Not one door that closed after you knocked on it with honest trust. I use all of it. The attempt that did not land developed something in you that success alone never could have developed. The door that closed protected you from a path that looked good from your position, but that I could see clearly was not your path. The season that ended was clearing the ground for something that required that clearing in order to arrive. In my hands, failure is never the final word. It is always the penultimate word. The final word is always mine. I want to speak about the specific practice of displacing fear with truth, because what I am describing needs to become practical in your actual daily life, not just an experience you have while listening to this. Every time you notice fear speaking, in the quiet moments, in the moments of uncertainty, at the edge of something new, in the middle of something difficult, I want you to engage in this practice. First, name what you are hearing. Not analyzing it in detail, but simply acknowledging, this is fear speaking. This is not a fact. This is a voice. Second, turn your attention toward me. Not dramatically, not with elaborate ritual. Simply a small interior pivot, a reorientation of awareness from the fear to my presence. Third, say one true thing. It does not have to be a lengthy declaration. One sentence of actual truth. You are with me. You have gone before me. The spirit of power in me is greater than what I am facing. You are faithful. Just one true thing, said to me or said inwardly, as a counter to what fear was just saying. That sequence, name, turn, say one true thing, practiced consistently across the ordinary days, is the mechanism by which the territory of your interior life gradually shifts from fear's dominion to truth's dominion. It does not happen all at once. It happens the way the quality of light in a space changes as you gradually open the shutters, incrementally, perceptibly, until the room that was dark is full of light, and you can barely remember how dark it was because the light feels so normal now. There is a vision I want to give you of what your life looks like on the other side of this. Not a perfect life with no difficulty. Not a life where fear never shows up again. But a life where the deep settled root of your identity and security is not in whether circumstances are going well. A life where you can receive good things with genuinely open hands because you trust the one who gave them. A life where you can face difficulty with a steady confidence that does not come from knowing the outcome, but from knowing the one who holds the outcome. A life where the people around you are touched by the quality of peace that flows from you. Not a performed peace, not a denial of difficulty, but the genuine peace of someone whose foundation is too deep to be reached by the ordinary turbulence of daily life. A life where you can be vulnerable with people without being destroyed by the risk of it, because you know your deepest security is not in their response. A life where you can step into new territory without being paralyzed by the fear of inadequacy, because you have practiced enough times discovering that my provision meets the gap to know that it will again. That life is available to you. Not after everything is figured out and resolved. Not in some ideal future condition. Now, in the imperfect and uncertain present, one practice of trust at a time. The world around you needs the version of you that has walked through fear, rather than being stopped by it. There are specific people you know now and people you have not yet met, whose lives will be genuinely different because you chose courage. The conversation you have because you stepped forward. The thing you create because you overcame the fear of inadequacy. The testimony you carry because you walked through the hard thing and found me faithful on the other side. The model you become for someone who is watching and who needs to see that moving through fear is actually possible. None of these things happen if you stay frozen. And those people need what they need from you specifically. Not from a version of you who will someday feel ready. From you, as you are now, making the imperfect, trust-rooted, courage-choosing steps that are available to you right now. So walk forward, warrior of light. That name is not aspirational. It is descriptive of what you actually are right now. A person who carries inside them the light of the living God. A person who has been given power and love and a sound mind in place of fear. A person who is in the process of learning, one step, one trust choice, one displaced fear at a time, what it means to actually live from what was given rather than from what was introduced. Walk forward knowing you are not going alone, not for one step of the way. Walk forward knowing the spirit of power inside you is not small. Walk forward knowing the love carrying you does not run out and cannot be lost. Walk forward knowing the sound mind you are given is being restored to its full clarity as the light displaces the darkness that fear put there. Take the step that fear has been deferring. Do it uncertain. Do it without guarantees. Do it trembling if trembling is what you have. And watch what happens when you do. Watch how the ground holds. Watch how the provision arrives. Watch how the path through reveals itself when you are walking on it in trust. Watch how my faithfulness shows up at the exact moment of the exact need in ways that are specific and personal and impossible to attribute to coincidence. All of that is waiting for you just on the other side of the step that fear has been telling you not to take. and it is worth everything required to get there. You are not designed for the small, braced, self-protective life that fear offers. You were designed for the open, trust-rooted, fully alive life that I have for you. Not in some future condition after everything is resolved. In this present season, with exactly what you have and exactly who you are, making the choices that are available right now. The fullness of life I have for you is not contingent on perfect conditions. It is available in the imperfect conditions of your actual life to the person who decides, today, to trust the one who holds it all, and has never once failed anyone who genuinely did. There is something I want to explore with you about the way fear operates in the quieter dimensions of daily life, because fear is not only present in the dramatic moments, it is present in the texture of ordinary days. In the way you hold back from saying what you actually think because you are not sure how it will be received. In the way you do not allow yourself to want certain things too much because wanting too much and not getting it feels too painful. In the way you process every piece of good news with a slight filter of suspicion. Is this real? Will it last? Is there something here I am not seeing yet? In the way you carry a constant low-level watchfulness, a background monitoring of the environment for signs of threat or disappointment or change in the people around you. This habitual, ambient fear does not announce itself loudly. It does not present as a crisis. It presents as normal, as simply the way you are, as just the texture of consciousness that you have carried for so long that you have stopped noticing it as something separate from yourself. But it is separate. It is not you. It is a pattern, learned and practiced, that has become so familiar it feels native. And it can change. One small turn at a time, one trust practice at a time, one true thing spoken into the quiet where fear was speaking. It can change. Not overnight. Not with a single dramatic moment of breakthrough, but steadily. The way the quality of air changes as you move out of a closed space into an open one. Gradually, perceptibly, the weight lifting and the clarity increasing, until the former heaviness seems remarkable in retrospect. Let me speak to you about identity, because this is closely connected to the fear that lives at the deepest level. Who you believe yourself to be shapes how you experience everything. When your sense of identity is rooted in my assessment of you rather than in the assessments of your circumstances or your performance or other people's responses to you, something stabilizes in a way that is very difficult for fear to destabilize. But when your identity is rooted in the shifting ground of how things are going and how people are responding and how well you are managing, when your sense of who you are rises and falls with the quality of your recent performance and the reliability of your recent circumstances, fear has enormous leverage. Because circumstances change and people disappoint and performance is never consistent, and every shift in those things can feel like a threat to the foundation of who you are. The foundation I am inviting you to stand on is not constructed from those shifting materials. The foundation I am offering you is this. You are a person I made, deliberately and with full intention. You are a person I love, unconditionally, and without the possibility of that love being revoked. You are a person I indwell, carrying my spirit and my power and my character in the making. You are a person I have purposes for, purposes that were established before you were born, and that remain established regardless of how the recent chapters have gone. You are a person I call a warrior of light, not because you have never been afraid, but because you carry the light of the living God in a world that needs it. That identity does not shift when circumstances shift. It does not diminish when you fail. It does not become uncertain when you doubt. It is fixed in me, which means it is as fixed as I am. And I do not change. I was who I am before the world was made. I will be who I am after the last star has run its course. In between, I remain exactly the same. And therefore your identity in me is the most stable ground you will ever stand on. Stand on it, every day, especially on the days when the circumstances are telling a different story. Stand on what I say about you, rather than on what the fear says about you. And gradually, as standing becomes habitual, as the practice of returning to this foundation becomes reflexive, you will find that fear's leverage over you has diminished. Not because the fear stopped trying, because the ground you are standing on is too solid for fear to move. Here is something about the nature of my faithfulness that I want you to take deep into your understanding. My faithfulness is not occasional. It is not selective, extended to certain people who meet certain qualifications while withheld from others who fall short. It is not intermittent, present in some seasons and absent in others. My faithfulness is constant. It operates on a level that transcends the variability of my people's faithfulness toward me. It does not match and mirror the quality of your faith, high when yours is high, low when yours is low. It is steadily itself, regardless of what your side of the relationship looks like on any given day. This is important for fear, because fear often says things like, "You have not been faithful enough for me to be faithful to you. You have not prayed enough or trusted enough or been consistent enough, and therefore my provision for you or my care for you is somehow in question." That is not true. My faithfulness toward you is not a reward for your faithfulness toward me. It is a characteristic of who I am, expressed toward you because you are mine. You became mine not by earning the status, but by being formed and breathed and called into existence by me. The relationship was established from my side, long before you were capable of responding to it. And my faithfulness within that relationship is not contingent on the quality of your response. It is contingent only on who I am. And who I am does not change. There is a dimension of courage that rarely gets discussed, and it is the courage required for relationships. Fear affects not just how you face external circumstances, but how you show up for people. The fear of being truly known keeps you behind a managed version of yourself in even your closest relationships. The fear of rejection keeps you at a safe emotional distance from people who could offer you genuine belonging. The fear of abandonment makes you either cling too tightly in ways that ultimately push people away, or hold yourself so far back that the connection never gets real enough to threaten you. The fear of conflict makes you avoid necessary conversations until the weight of what is unsaid becomes a barrier that serves its own kind of separation. The fear of disappointing people makes you say yes when you mean no, until the accumulated weight of obligation becomes resentment. Fear in relationships is one of the most pervasive and practically consequential dimensions of what I am addressing today. And I want to name it clearly, so you can begin to see where it is operating in your specific relational life. The antidote to relational fear is the same settled security that I have been describing throughout this entire word. When you are genuinely rooted in my love for you, not performing for my approval, but receiving my unconditional love as a fixed foundation, the desperate, anxious quality of your need for human approval changes. You do not stop needing people. Connection is real and important, and I designed you for it. But the quality of your need shifts from anxious and grasping to open and free. You can offer yourself to people without needing them to respond in any particular way in order for you to feel secure. You can be vulnerable without it feeling like exposure to destruction. You can be disagreed with without it feeling like rejection. You can be misunderstood without it feeling like abandonment. The security that comes from being genuinely rooted in my love is the foundation that makes real, free, open relationship possible. And real, free, open relationship is one of the most beautiful expressions of the life I designed you for. I also want to address the specific fear of the future that is connected to purpose. Many people carry a deep, quiet anxiety about whether they are on the right path, whether the things they are doing with their time and energy matter, whether they are missing something they were supposed to be and do, whether the window for certain purposes has already passed, whether they have wasted too much time already, whether the direction they are going is the one I actually have for them, or whether they have wandered off course and are now living a life that is somehow less than what was intended. This anxiety about purpose is one I want to address with particular care, because it tends to be very quiet and very pervasive, and it produces a kind of low-level spiritual restlessness that is hard to name, but exhausting to live with. Here is what I want to say to that place. I am not a God who plants purposes in people and then watches helplessly as those purposes are lost due to their choices, or their wandering, or their wasted time. I am a God who works in all things, including the wandering, including the wasted seasons, including the choices that seemed like detours. I weave everything into the fabric of the story I am telling through your life. The season that felt like nothing special was developing something in you that the next season requires. The period that felt like wasted time was building in you a wisdom and a perspective that is now part of what makes you exactly the right person for what is coming. The moment you stopped yourself and pulled back from what fear described as too risky. Even that moment is in my hands, and I am working with it. You have not missed your purpose. You cannot miss what I have determined for you, because my determination exceeds your ability to derail it. What I have called you to do, what I have made you specifically for, is still ahead. It is waiting for you to walk into it. And the path to it runs directly through the fear you are choosing to step through right now. Let me address the lie of inadequacy now, because this one is pervasive and it does deep damage. The lie says you are not equipped for what is ahead of you, not smart enough, not experienced enough, not gifted enough, not resourced enough, not connected enough. The lie uses real deficiencies as its evidence, and real deficiencies are present. I am not denying that. The lie takes those real deficiencies and draws a false conclusion, that the path is not for you, that you should wait until you are more ready, that the gap between who you are and what is required is too wide to cross. This lie has stopped extraordinary people from doing extraordinary things. It has caused destinies to be delayed by years, sometimes for entire lifetimes. It whispers that someone more qualified should be doing the thing you were called to do. And it is a lie, not a partial lie. A complete and strategic lie designed to keep you on the sidelines of your own life. Here's the truth that is hiding from you. I do not call the fully equipped. I equip the called. The gap between who you are now and what the path requires is not an obstacle to my purposes. It is an invitation for my provision. Every qualification you lack, I can supply. Every skill you do not yet have, I can either develop in you or bring through someone I position alongside you. Every area of inexperience I can turn into an area of rapid learning when the situation requires it. Your inadequacy is the raw material from which I build the most compelling demonstrations of my power, because when the outcome clearly exceeds what your capacity alone could have produced, everyone who witnesses it knows that something more than human ability was at work. Your weakness is not a disqualification. It is the space where my strength is most visible. The fear of failure has robbed people of the full lives they could have lived, and I want to address it honestly. The fear of trying and not succeeding. The fear of investing yourself in something that matters to you and having it not work out. The fear of being publicly seen to have reached for something and missed it. This fear disguises itself as wisdom. It sounds like being realistic, managing expectations, not setting yourself up for disappointment. But look at what it actually produces in a life. It produces holding back from the things that matter most. It produces a habitual pattern of staying where it is safe rather than going where it is meaningful. It produces a life story that is full of things you almost tried, almost attempted, almost began. And the tragedy is not just what you missed. The tragedy is what the world around you missed because you did not step into the place you were called to occupy. Receive the peace. Receive the power. Receive the love that has been your foundation before you knew it. Receive the sound mind that the light of truth is restoring in you. Receive the future that has been prepared in ways you have not yet been able to see. Receive the identity of a warrior of light, someone who carries the light of the living God into every ordinary and extraordinary moment of their life. That is who you are. That is what you were made to be. And it is more than enough for everything that is ahead. Amen. If this message touched your heart and gave you the courage to face something you have been afraid of, please share it right now with someone who needs these words today. Type Amen in the comments below to declare that you are choosing trust over fear starting now. Your comment reaches people in real moments of darkness and lets them know they are not alone in what they are fighting. If you want to receive a message like this every single day, subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so nothing passes you by. You are not alone on this road. We are walking forward together, and the light is winning.